Okay, today we'll touch upon the master data preparation for the go-live purpose. Traditionally, in the AC-Touch ERP software, we give an option for you to create your master data, whether it is a product master, vendor master, or a customer, or a bill of material master data, because these are the data you are generating either from your old ERP softwares or from manually generated Excel that we import into the ERP and EC-Touch ERP software. So today we touch upon the master data mainly for the product master side. So traditionally, when you say product master in the EC-Touch ERP, the components of the type of products could be finished goods or a semi-finished goods, or typically we say work in progress items, raw materials. Along with that, you will have some parts you maintain for the maintenance items, or tools, jigs, fixture. You want to keep inventorized, you can do it. Along with consumables. There is a one component that we maintain here is like a service. Sometimes you have the machining operation or a subcontracting operations. Typically, these we define as a non-inventory item. In the sense, you need this line item for a billing purpose, but they are not required to be holding any inventory or any stocks. So traditionally, you have when you define as a product master, you define everything as a part of the one set itself. Because traditionally we hear from the customer that product finished goods, where do I define finished goods, separate menus, or the raw material defined in separate menus. Like that they ask because of their experience with the old ERP software. In AC Touch Product Master or the Part Master, we define everything at a one. So today what we do is we will go into the list of the fields that are required for us to fill the data. Okay. Traditionally, we capture about 100 plus fields, but what we give to the customers are basically those are mandatory for the customer to fill up them. Okay. Some of this data will be discussed with our implementation consultant, which we provide as a part of services, and we create a master data along with that. So what we do is we will try to explain this field one by one now. Okay. The first is the product ID, or it is like a part ID when you define. Okay. For example, let us say we defined as a cycle as a part ID. Okay. The description, product description, or the product name. Cycle maybe say we say this is for the adult cycle. Okay, there's a description how you want to show in the invoice of billing. stands for the unit of measurement. Say we sell it in numbers. Quantity base indicates the opening stock. Like in case you have what is the stock you have in the ERP or from the physical you are moving to a system, that numbers you can take it. If you are creating the first time the master data, it's stock is not there, you can keep it 0 and 5. Now, this is an important parameter, inventory field SR, right? So basically inventory yes means you are keeping the inventory stock item is inventory or means that the stock is when you receive the material or purchase the material, you are taking it as an inventory item. Okay. Traditionally, we take a item as a no for a consumables or the services item where you don't want to keep any inventory. For example, in the sheet which I mentioned here, some activities like operations, like a subcontract operation, which are traditionally kept as a non-inventory item, you can consider here. Okay, so that we don't get into issues there at the transaction time there. So you have the option whether to create inventory or non-inventory, you can do it. The next one is some of the items, whether you want to keep it as a batch or not. For example, medical industries and all items are kept in the batches. So in that case, you keep it as a S, so that the system says, okay, this item I need to keep in the batch mode. Sometimes you buy the same material from multiple vendor, like a vendor one, vendor two, but you want to track the quality of each of the item you bought from the vendor. For example, you are buying the pipes, let's say 5-inch diameter plastic pipe from Astral or from Ashirwad, two separate vendor. Now the part ID is same. It's only one part ID, but the supplier could be different, right? You want to track those as a separate, receipt of the material. That time, the batch number can help you to separate the costing, the stock, or the inventory issuance, everything you can control to the batch. Okay. The next one is if you enable the batch number and if you have a stock here, system will ask you to give the batch number. Like a batch number could be the B156 hyphen whatever number you can give, you can mention that. The next one is the manufacturer name, the person who is producing. Please note, if you look at all these parameters, which I mentioned in the yellow color are the mandatory one. If a product is a batch item, then this becomes a mandatory. Otherwise, you don't need to do that. Now, manufacturer name is again for information. Who is supplying this item? While you are searching the item by the manufacturer name, you can group the material. That's a basic idea. Same thing with the product group also. Typically, you can have the finished good or a raw material or tools, or you can say consumables. Like that product, individual part can be a part of a particular group, product group you can define. Okay. Now the drawing number is again for information sake. Now the next few parameters are little important. One is reorder label, right? One of the point we see frequently is customer wants an alert when the stock is going the below. Okay. Let us say you said your reorder label, the cycle to be about 100 number minimum stock you want to keep. The moment your existing stock is hitting below 100, that's 99 stock, you get an alert on your dashboard that the stock has gone below the reorder level. That means you set an expectation 100 quantity required. If it's going below 100, give me an alert. The next one is the cost price. What is the purchase price is the item? Cost price we also call as the purchase price. So you can decide what is the purchase price of the item because your inventory valuation is depending on this particular quantity, right? For example, purchase price is 12.89. That means your inventory valuation with the available stock is 1,289 rupees. This is the inventory value of this particular item in the stores. Okay. Now, selling price MRP indicates the value in which you sell the item. MRP is traditionally what happens. MRP price is always including the tax amount, so you have the option to define that. The next one is if you have a purchase tax codes, whether GST 18, 5, 12, what are the taxes, you can define in the product master. The advantage of that is when you are creating the purchase order, this tax code automatically comes on the purchase menu, or else you have to manually select. The same rule is for the selling also. Okay. In case your purchase price is like a MRP price, in the sense, say 100 rupees your the purchase price, that also includes the taxes, then you have to mention this as a Y. Let's say GST 18 is my tax, and tax include the purchase price, whatever the 12 rupee 89 paisa cost price I have here, that including the tax amount, then you have to mention a yes. Otherwise, leave it blank as a no. That time what happens? The tax of 18% will be on the top of the purchase price of 12 rupee 89 paisa. Okay, that's the system. The same rule for the selling purpose. The next one comes in the location. Location is where the default this item is kept in your company. Sometimes what happens is individual items kept in individual rows or racks kind of a structure, L1, R1, or it could be different location like stores, first floor, second floor, like that. You can predefine the locations in the product master. Okay. Again, these are not a mandatory. If it is not there, system take a default stores and inside. HSN code, define that 4 to 8 digits you can take. If any remarks or a comment required, you can go ahead. These are not required. Purchase price is just an indicator of the purchase price. The difference between the cost price and the purchase price as below. Cost price is what is the value of the inventory that you are valuing. But purchase price could be the one against which you are purchasing. Sometimes what happens is you have you purchase item at 100 rupees, right? but you already have a item set, say 80 rupees inventory cost price is there. So when you buy the new item at a 100 rupees, and your existing item is at the cost price of 80 rupees. So the new number, two stocks it will be average to say 90 rupees. The cost is always the average of price on the application. This is what you are purchasing. This is what you are valuing your stock in the inventory. Okay. Now the subgroup 1 to 3 are important for the calculation. Sometimes what happens is the subgroup 1 to 3 lies with the product group, and subgroup 1 and 2 and 3 will be there as a part of the filtering of a data. Okay. So how we fill it up? Let me give an example. Product group could be say raw material. That is a raw material. How do you identify? Maybe subgroup 1 could be steel materials, or it could be say cast iron, different type of material. Third parameter could be, you can say the diameter is 20 mm dia, or say 24 mm dia material. The next filter could be say EN8, that basically the steel type of material, or it could be EN24 kind of a setup you can do it. Now tomorrow after this we get a part ID which we are creating over here now. So I say EN8 dia 20 mm steel bar, right? This is my part ID, right? So the advantage of this, what happens is when you are going to filter the data, what you are going to do is a product group. You are selecting raw material. Maybe subgroup 1, subgroup 2, and subgroup 3, you can have the option to collect all the item under the raw material. So you select all here in the report. Now, wherever the raw material is there, here this is one of the raw material. The rest of the data is common. That means if you have multiple items of a similar nature, all will be grouped under this. Now let us say you want to know raw material with only steel option. This is one of the parameters. Here we have two parameters, right? Steel and a cast iron. Here I want to say raw material with the steel. So whatever the items under this combination will be appearing. So traditionally the subgroup 1 to 3 helps you to manage the content. Okay. The last but not least is the barcode number. We provide the facility of a barcode generation in the ERP, and you have the option to define your own barcodes. And if it is created in the ERP, you just manually go and set in the product master. In case you have the barcodes given by your vendor, you can create those barcode numbers here, whatever the existing number, and we help you to upload the data. Okay. Now, this is the, one of the set of the master data of the product master that we need for the ERP. So these are the fields are mandatory. Some are not mandatory and optional. But our intention is to make sure that how these fields are used and how it can. Okay. For any questions and all, you can talk to our consultant and they can help you. Okay. Thanks a lot.